The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Niccolò Machiavelli. The Prince. Your mind is a throne, but it is not an empty seat. It is a fortress under constant siege. Every day, unseen forces, distractions, fears, societal expectations attempt to breach its walls. The enemy is relentless, and the cost of failure is your sovereignty. The invisible siege. Consider this. The average person spends over 11 hours a day consuming media. Each notification, each headline, each fleeting thought is an arrow aimed at your focus. These are not mere distractions. They are calculated attacks on your willpower. In Machiavellian terms, they are the courtiers whispering in the ears of a king, steering decisions from the shadows. History offers a stark example. Julius Caesar, one of Rome's most formidable leaders, was assassinated not by an army, but by those closest to him, his trusted senators. They were the invisible siege, the internal betrayal. Your modern-day equivalent? The endless scroll of social media, the constant ping of emails, the subtle erosion of your time and attention. Everyday moments as skirmishes, each moment is a skirmish. Waking up late, hitting snooze, scrolling through your phone instead of planning your day. These are not trivial actions. They are small defeats that accumulate, weakening your resolve. A leader does not falter in the face of minor battles. He wins them, one by one. Think of a chess grandmaster. Every move is deliberate. Every piece has purpose. In life, your decisions are your pieces. Move them recklessly, and you lose the game. Move them with intent, and you control the board. The cost of weakness without mastery over yourself. You are a pawn in the game of life. You react instead of act. You are subject to the whims of others, to the tides of circumstance. But with mastery, you become the king. You dictate the terms. You choose your allies, your battles, your destiny. The stakes are high. To remain passive is to surrender your throne. To take command is to ascend it. The choice is yours. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. William Ernest Henley. This is not mere rhetoric. It is the foundation of self-mastery. Recognize the siege. Win the skirmishes. See, the first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Niccolò Machiavelli. The Prince. Your mind is a throne, but it is not an empty seat. It is a fortress under constant siege. Every day, unseen forces, distractions, fears, societal expectations attempt to breach its walls. The enemy is relentless, and the cost of failure is your sovereignty. The invisible siege. Consider this. The average person spends over 11 hours a day consuming media. Each notification, each headline, each fleeting thought is an arrow aimed at your focus. These are not mere distractions. They are calculated attacks on your willpower. In Machiavellian terms, they are the courtiers whispering in the ears of a king, steering decisions from the shadows. History offers a stark example. Julius Caesar, one of Rome's most formidable leaders, was assassinated not by an army, but by those closest to him, his trusted senators. They were the invisible siege, the internal betrayal. Your modern-day equivalent? The endless scroll of social media, the constant ping of emails, the subtle erosion of your time and attention. Everyday moments as skirmishes, each moment is a skirmish. Waking up late, hitting snooze, scrolling through your phone instead of planning your day. These are not trivial actions. They are small defeats that accumulate, weakening your resolve. A leader does not falter in the face of minor battles. He wins them, one by one. Think of a chess grandmaster. Every move is deliberate. Every piece has purpose. In life, your decisions are your pieces. Move them recklessly, and you lose the game. Move them with intent, and you control the board. The cost of weakness. Without mastery over yourself, you are a pawn in the game of life. You react instead of act. You are subject to the whims of others, to the tides of circumstance. But with mastery, you become the king. You dictate the terms. You choose your allies, your battles, your destiny. The stakes are high. To remain passive is to surrender your throne. To take command is to ascend it. The choice is yours. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. William Ernest Henley. This is not mere rhetoric. It is the foundation of self-mastery. Recognize the siege. Win the skirmishes. Command your fate. Your throne awaits. Command your. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Niccolò Machiavelli. The Prince. Dawn is not a gentle awakening. It is the trumpet call of battle. The first light does not simply signal another day. It signals a battlefield, and you are the commander. Every morning you linger in indecision. Every moment you surrender to comfort. You allow your enemies, distraction, hesitation, and fear, to fortify their positions. The war for your sovereignty begins with the rising sun, and victory favors those who move first. The first light is your opportunity for strategic deployment. Imagine a general surveying the field before the army awakens, positioning his troops, setting traps, claiming the high ground. Your morning routine is no different. When you rise with intent, when you prioritize action before indulgence, you dictate the tempo of the day, making your bed, reviewing your objectives, focusing your mind. These are not mundane tasks. They are your battalions, ready to hold the line against chaos. A commander who seizes the morning does not wait for life to happen. He forces life to follow his strategy. Eliminating early weakness is non-negotiable. The smallest distractions are often the most insidious. A phone beep, oozing, a fleeting thought, the lure of comfort. Each one is a covert attack, a spy seeking to undermine your authority before you even stand. Identify them, neutralize them, and strike decisively. Make your first victories unmistakable. Historically, the world's most effective leaders, from Napoleon to Churchill, understood this principle. Control the morning, and you control the day. The compound effect of small, early wins is enormous. The hours you command while others linger in indecision become a fortress that shields you from chaos. Mindset is the true skirmish of dawn. Clarity and focus in the first hours are weapons that carry you through unseen battles later. When your mind is sharp at sunrise, you anticipate threats, navigate challenges, and act with precision. Hesitation breeds opportunity for your adversaries. Internal doubt, societal pressure, or the relentless pull of distractions. Command your mental state with rituals of discipline, a moment of reflection, a precise schedule, or a focused task completed before the world awakens. In these small, deliberate acts, you assert dominance over yourself and, by extension, over everything that seeks to unsettle you. The stakes are absolute. To surrender your mornings is to surrender control. To rise and act with intention is to declare sovereignty over your life. The world respects those who act, while others falter, who strike before being struck, who dictate terms rather than submit to circumstance. Every dawn is a test. Every sunrise, a chance to demonstrate that you are not a pawn in the game of life, but the master of your own battlefield. Rise with the sun. Move with purpose. Claim the day as your dominion. Let no hesitation breach the walls of your resolve. Let every action in these first hours be a declaration. You will not be moved. You will not be shaken. And you will not yield. The dawn is mine. The day obeys my command. Fate. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. Niccolò Machiavelli, the Prince. Stillness is not surrender. Stillness is the sharpened edge of a blade before it strikes. In the heat of the world, where chaos rages and impulses demand immediate action, the untrained mind believes that movement equals progress. But true power lies in restraint, in the patient pause, in the silent calculation that precedes every decisive blow. Every great strategist, from the generals of Rome to the masters of modern warfare, understood this. The mind that waits, watches, and observes is the mind that dominates. Meditative combat is the first discipline of stillness. Imagine a field commander, alone on the hill before dawn, surveying the enemy lines. His army sleeps. His foes are unaware. In that quiet, he sees the weaknesses, the gaps, the missteps no one else notices. Your mind must become that hilltop. Morning rituals of reflection, journaling, or silent contemplation are not indulgences. They are your scouting missions. You map the battlefield of your own life, pinpointing threats, assessing allies, and understanding your terrain. Each moment of quiet is an intelligence operation that gives you an advantage no rush or reaction could ever provide. Harnessing patience is the second weapon in your arsenal. A single hasty move can undo months of preparation. Think of Hannibal at Cannae, waiting, observing, and letting the Romans advance into a trap of his design. Waiting is not inaction, it is strategy. By delaying immediate gratification and postponing impulsive decisions, you force a world to reveal its patterns. The enemy, the chaos in your mind, the distractions of others, cannot strike effectively if you refuse to show your hand. Patience becomes a weapon that sharpens over time, forging clarity and precision. Silence is your shield. The predator does not announce its intentions. It moves unseen, unchallenged, unnoticed, until the moment of decisive strike. When you observe without revealing, you gather information, discern motives, and predict attacks before they arrive. Your opponents, whether external pressures, toxic relationships, or internal doubt, cannot manipulate what they do not perceive. Silence protects your strategy, hides your strength, and allows you to operate from a position of invulnerability. The stakes are immense. To act without stillness is to invite defeat, to surrender control to chaos, to embrace the pause, to command the quiet, is to arm yourself with foresight and unshakable precision. Every day, every choice, every hesitation mastered becomes a victory in your larger campaign. Ordinary life is full of distractions, but the disciplined mind converts every idle moment into preparation, every silence into advantage. Do not mistake stillness for passivity. It is a calculated assault on your enemies, internal and external alike. Learn to pause, observe, and wait. Let the world rush blindly while you prepare to strike with perfect timing. Stillness is my weapon. Patience is my shield. He who builds his strength on others' weakness will himself become weak. Niccolò Machiavelli, the Prince. To be unbreakable, you must wield elimination as a weapon. This is not cruelty. It is strategy. The battlefield of life is littered with the remnants of hesitation, of loyalties misplaced, of threats left unchecked. Every habit that weakens you, every belief that clouds your judgment, every person who drains your energy is an enemy sign, standing on your throne. To reign, you must remove them without mercy, prune weakness with precision. Examine your life as a general surveys a battlefield at dawn. Which routines are shackles disguised as comfort? Which thoughts echo fear instead of command? Which relationships cost more than they give? These are not minor inconveniences. They are siege engines aimed at your sovereignty, like a gardener cutting dead branches to allow the tree to thrive. you must excise all that threatens growth. Each removal is a declaration. You answer to no one but yourself. Decisive action is the hammer that breaks hesitation. In warfare, a delayed strike allows the enemy to regroup, to fortify, to counterattack. In life, the same principle applies. When you identify a threat, external or internal, act swiftly, act absolutely. History is full of rulers undone by delay. Generals who hesitated, kings who doubted, strategists who questioned their own courage. Modern life mirrors this battlefield. The habits you tolerate, the toxic influences you postpone confronting, the self-doubt you entertain, all of them multiply while you hesitate. Strike once, strike true, and remove obstacles with finality. Internal doubt is the silent assassin. Fear is the whisper that undermines your courage. To be unbreakable, you must conduct a psychological purge. Confront your insecurities, interrogate your anxieties, and discard thoughts that diminish your will. A mind unencumbered by internal betrayal is like a fortress without weak gates, impenetrable, dominant, unyielding. Martial discipline is useless without mental clarity. Strength without confidence is hollow. By eliminating fear and doubt, you arm yourself with certainty and resolve. The stakes are ruthless. Failure to act decisively allows mediocrity, weakness, and chaos to infiltrate your life. Success demands a cold, unflinching eye. Every habit pruned, every toxic influence removed, every fear confronted is a battle. 1. Each act of ruthless elimination transforms you from reactive to unstoppable, from vulnerable to untouchable. Do not hesitate. Do not excuse weakness. Sweep away all that threatens your throne. Let your sovereignty be absolute, your will unchallenged, and your power undeniable. I remove what weakens me. I stand unbreakable. He who builds his strength on others' weakness will himself become weak. Niccolò Machiavelli, the Prince. To be unbreakable, you must wield elimination as a weapon. This is not cruelty, it is strategy. The battlefield of life is littered with the remnants of hesitation, of loyalties misplaced, of threats left unchecked. Every habit that weakens you, every belief that clouds your judgment, every person who drains your energy is an enemy standing on your throne. To reign, you must remove them without mercy. Prune weakness with precision. Examine your life as a general surveys a battlefield at dawn. Which routines are shackles disguised as comfort? Which thoughts echo fear instead of command? Which relationships cost more than they give? These are not minor inconveniences. They are siege engines aimed at your sovereignty. Like a gardener cutting dead branches to allow the tree to thrive, you must excise all that threatens growth. Each removal is a declaration. You answer to no one but yourself. Decisive action is the hammer that breaks hesitation. In warfare, a delayed strike allows the enemy to regroup, to fortify, to counterattack. In life, the same principle applies. When you identify a threat, external or internal, act swiftly, act absolutely. History is full of rulers undone by delay, generals who hesitated, kings who doubted, strategists who questioned their own courage. Modern life mirrors this battlefield. The habits you tolerate, the toxic influences you postpone confronting, the self-doubt you entertain, all of them multiply while you hesitate. Strike once, strike true, and remove obstacles with finality. Internal doubt is the silent assassin. Fear is the whisper that undermines your courage. To be unbreakable, you must conduct a psychological purge. Confront your insecurities, interrogate your anxieties, and discard thoughts that diminish your will. A mind unencumbered by internal betrayal is like a fortress without weak gates, impenetrable, dominant, unyielding. Martial discipline is useless without mental clarity. Strength without confidence is hollow. By eliminating fear and doubt, you arm yourself with certainty and resolve. The stakes are ruthless. Failure to act decisively allows mediocrity, weakness, and chaos to infiltrate your life. Success demands a cold, unflinching eye. Every habit pruned, every toxic influence removed, every fear confronted is a battle won. Each act of ruthless elimination transforms you from reactive to unstoppable, from vulnerable to untouchable. Do not hesitate. Do not excuse weakness. Sweep away all that threatens your throne. Let your sovereignty be absolute, your will unchallenged, and your power undeniable. The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. Niccolò Machiavelli, the Prince. Authority is a mask you wear before the world, a carefully forged armor that conceals doubt and projects power. To command is not merely to act, it is to be seen as unshakable, untouchable, inevitable. The battlefield is not only physical, it is social, psychological, and perceptual. Your presence, your tone, your every gesture becomes a weapon, a signal to allies and adversaries alike that you are a force none can disregard. Presence is power. The way you carry yourself dictates the world's response. Stand tall, speak deliberately, move with intention. A slight slump, a hesitant word, a faltering glance. These are openings for your enemies to exploit. Leaders throughout history, from Alexander the Great to modern CEOs, knew this truth. Confidence is armor. When your posture radiates certainty, when your voice carries weight, when your eyes convey calculation, the world obeys before you speak. Command begins with the image of command. Your body and mind are your first battlegrounds. Strategic deception is the second pillar of mastery. Reveal only what serves you. Conceal doubt, mask hesitation, and never allow vulnerability to become a tool for others. In the courts of Renaissance Italy, princes learned to smile while plotting, to nod while scheming, to appear gracious while manipulating outcomes. Today, the principle endures. In negotiations, in leadership, in social dynamics, showing restraint and hiding uncertainty ensures you remain unpredictable and unassailable. Let your intentions be an enigma, and the world will hesitate to challenge you. Social chess is the art of manipulating appearances to your advantage. Every interaction is a move on the board. Observe, calculate, and respond with precision. Align yourself with allies whose presence amplifies your authority. Distance yourself from those whose influence diminishes it. A well-timed gesture, a calculated compliment, a deliberate silence. These are your knights and rooks, your pawns and bishops, all positioned to serve your strategy. Influence is the battlefield where perception is the strongest weapon, and the player who controls appearances controls outcomes. The stakes are absolute. Authority is fragile. Even the strongest will crumble if perceived as weak. To project invincibility is not vanity, it is survival. Every action, every pause, every word must reinforce the image of power. Hesitate, and the world will encroach. Act without perception, and your victories will slip through your fingers. Master the mask, and you gain not only respect, but freedom, control, and the ability to shape the environment to your design. Wear the mask of command. Let your presence intimidate, your strategy deceive, your influence manipulated. Let the world see not the man, but the power that he wields. Step forward as both king and strategist, commanding not just attention, but allegiance. I am seen as unshakable. My command is absolute. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Niccolò Machiavelli, the Prince. Within you lies a shadow, a silent predator that waits for the moment to strike. not at others, but at the weaknesses within yourself. This is your inner assassin, a force trained to eliminate doubt, fear, and complacency before they take root and corrupt your throne. To master the world, you must first master the part of yourself willing to act without hesitation, without sentiment, and without apology. The shadow within moves swiftly. It strikes at procrastination the moment it appears, silences indecision before it spreads, and dismantles hesitation before it gains momentum. Imagine a general confronting traitors in the ranks. Any delay risks defeat. Your inner assassin observes, waits, and then acts with lethal precision. Every time you choose focus over distraction, courage over fear, execution over hesitation, the assassin sharpens its blade. This is not violence. It is discipline. The battlefield of life respects the prepared, punishes the hesitant, and rewards the ruthless execution of self-command. Targeted strikes are your tactic. Identify the critical vulnerabilities in your mind and habits. Where do you falter under pressure? Which thoughts betray your ambition? What patterns of weakness allow external forces to gain leverage over you? Pinpoint them. Attack them. Remove them with the precision of a sniper eliminating a high-value target. Each internal strike clears a path to power. Each conquered fear strengthens the perimeter of your mental fortress. Each disciplined decision expands your sovereignty. There is no room for half measures. Half-hearted attacks allow doubt to regroup. Decisive strikes annihilated. Moral calculus guides the assassin. Sometimes ruthlessness within, the elimination of comfort, the dismissal of self-pity, the confrontation with painful truths is necessary to achieve victory externally. History is full of leaders who understood this. Caesar purged indecision to seize Gaul. Napoleon sacrificed ease to claim empires. Even modern leaders accept personal austerity to command respect and control outcomes. Internally, you must wield the same cold efficiency. The moment you act without attachment to comfort, without fear of internal friction, you cultivate the strength to act without compromise in the world beyond. The stakes are absolute. Every day spent tolerating doubt, fear, or complacency is a day you surrender territory in your own mind. The inner assassin is your only guarantee that hesitation will not undermine your throne. Each strike reinforces the boundary between the powerful self and the weaker self, between mastery and mediocrity, between command and subjugation. Ignore it, and you forfeit battles before they even begin. Honor it, and you sharpen the weapon that guarantees your sovereignty. Summon the assassin within. Let it move unseen, strike without mercy, and dismantle every threat lurking in your own mind. Come relentless, decisive, and unstoppable. Every hesitation you destroy today builds the foundation for absolute authority tomorrow. I strike doubt and fear before they strike me. I am unstoppable. Men in general judge more from appearances than from reality. All men have eyes, but few have the gift of penetration. Niccolò Machiavelli, the Prince. Within you prowls a wolf, silent, patient, and ferocious. This wolf is the embodiment of your greatest instincts: discipline, courage, and strategic aggression. Feed it, and it grows into an unstoppable force. Neglect it, and weakness spreads, devouring opportunity from within. Power is not given. It is cultivated in the shadows, nourished through conscious choices, sharpened by self-mastery. The wolf does not ask permission, neither should you. Selective nourishment is the first command. Every ounce of energy you possess must be allocated toward mastery, intelligence, and influence. Like a general rationing supplies before a siege, you must feed what strengthens the hunt and starve what dulls it. Idle gossip, passive habits, indulgent distractions. These are scraps for the weak. Pour your focus into learning, strategy, and decisive action. Let your wolf feast on courage, relentless study, and calculated risk. Every choice is either a meal for strength or a morsel for weakness. The battlefield does not forgive wasted energy. Temptation becomes prey when wielded correctly. Every desire, every fleeting indulgence can either chain you or fuel your ascent. Historical leaders understood this instinctively. Alexander the Great embraced disciplined ambition over fleeting pleasures, channeling every longing into conquest. Winston Churchill harnessed defiance and resolve as weapons against chaos in your life. Every temptation you encounter, be it comfort, complacency, or fear, must be hunted and tamed, never allowed to dominate. You decide when it serves your purpose and when it dies at the edge of your teeth. The wolf knows the hunt, and you must know yourself. Wolf's resilience is forged in adversity. Observe the leaders who carved empires from uncertainty. Genghis Khan thrived through relentless expansion, disciplined aggression, and strategic ruthlessness. Catherine the Great commanded respect by feeding her ambition and starving distractions. The wolf survives storms, hunger, and the pack's challenges, emerging stronger each time. Your own life demands the same resilience. Embrace calculated aggression, strike when opportunity aligns, and endure when fortune turns cold. The path to dominance is never gentle. It is a trial by fire for the disciplined predator. The stakes are absolute. Feeding the wolf determines whether you remain a predator or a prey. Every decision, every moment of energy spent, either fortifies your instincts or weakens them. The world does not reward hesitation, and power never waits for the unprepared. Strength is grown in silence, sharpened in strategy, and unleashed in calculated strikes. Your wolf is your army within. Feed it wisely, control its hunger, and strike without mercy when the moment demands. Nourish the predator inside. Let it sharpen your instincts, fortify your courage, and drive your strategy. Feed only what makes you stronger, smarter, and more relentless. Starve the weakness, the doubt, the indulgence that threatens your sovereignty. Let your actions reflect the predator within. Precise, disciplined, unstoppable. I feed the wolf within. Strength and strategy are mine. Whosoever desires constant success must change his conduct with the times. Niccolò Machiavelli, The Prince. Life is a chessboard, vast and unrelenting, stretching far beyond the edges you can see. Each moment is a square, each choice a piece with potential to conquer or collapse. The pawns of your daily decisions march forward quietly, seemingly insignificant, yet their movement shapes your empire. Your knights are bold risks, capable of leaping over obstacles that paralyze the cautious. Your rooks stand like fortresses, steady and unyielding, while your queen, your focus, your will, strikes with precision where others hesitate. Every piece matters, and every action echoes across the board. Neglect one, and the enemy gains ground without a fight. Mastering this board begins with awareness. Track every move, no matter how small. A neglected habit, a wasted hour, a deferred responsibility. These are openings for loss. History offers countless warnings. Caesar's enemies noticed the smallest misstep and exploited it with lethal efficiency. Today, your modern battlefield may be subtler: office politics, social influence, self-doubt, but the principle is identical. Each decision compounds. Each neglected square gives advantage to forces beyond your control. You must treat every pawn and every minor choice as vital. Command them, guide them, and they become instruments of conquest. Enemy prediction is your second weapon. Observe patterns, read intentions, and anticipate their next move. Machiavelli advised rulers to know both their friends and foes intimately. to see the currents beneath surface appearances. In modern life, this translates into understanding things, people, systems, and circumstances around you. Your adversary might not be a person at all. It could be the inertia of your own comfort, the pull of distraction, or the weight of fear. Study it, forecast its response, and act with foresight. A player who reacts without anticipation is already trapped, their king vulnerable before the game truly begins. Sacrifice is the final mastery. Not every move can be a victory. Sometimes you must yield a pawn to capture a queen, delay gratification to secure ultimate advantage. Alexander the Great abandoned immediate comfort for decades of relentless conquest. Elon Musk risked fortune, reputation, and security to dominate industries with calculated gambles. In your own life, identify which pieces you are willing to sacrifice. Old beliefs, unproductive routines, trivial indulgences, to achieve dominance over the board that is your existence. Without willingness to forfeit the temporary, the permanent remains out of reach. Every action, every pause, every calculated risk creates momentum. The board reacts to your vision, your discipline, your foresight. Hesitation invites the enemy to occupy the squares you leave undefended. Bold, precise, strategic decisions carve the path to victory. The difference between survival and triumph lies in recognizing that life is not passive. It is an arena where intellect, strategy, and courage collide in every choice. You are both player and commander, pawn and king, architect and executor of your fate. Command your board with clarity. Move decisively. Predict relentlessly. Sacrifice wisely. Let no square remain unclaimed, no piece undervalued, no moment wasted. Life yields to those who treat it as the infinite, merciless game it truly is. I see the board. I move with purpose. I conquer. The promise of life without struggle is a lie. Strength is forged in the fire of discipline. Your will is not given. It is earned, hammered into shape by the ritual of relentless action. Each day presents a battlefield, and your mind is both soldier and general. Discipline is your armor. Without it, the storms of distraction, doubt, and temptation pierce you. With it, you move through life impervious, each decision precise, each step deliberate. History teaches this truth. Roman soldiers marched daily under punishing heat, not because orders demanded it, but because repetition built a body and mind unbroken by circumstance. Today, the modern battlefield is quieter, but no less ruthless. Emails, social media, procrastination, they are the unseen enemies, attempting to dismantle your throne before you even rise. Discipline shields you, and you must do it without hesitation. Embrace discomfort as your ally. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius trained their minds in adversity, learning to meet challenges without flinching. You too must confront what others flee: the early alarm, the cold shower, the solitary hour of reflection, the task that feels too large or too tedious. Each act of deliberate challenge builds resilience, a mental sinew capable of bending circumstance to your will. The warrior who has faced controlled discomfort fears no battlefield. The strategist who has wrestled with chaos anticipates every move of the enemy. Discomfort is not punishment, it is preparation. Consistency is your path to conquest. One day of effort is a skirmish. 1 month is a campaign. 1 year is a siege that secures territory others cannot touch. The repeated act, ritualized and intentional, transforms ordinary action into extraordinary power. Olympic athletes, sea, corporate titans, and military legends alike share this unbroken thread. Mastery is not sudden. It is the result of daily adherence to a regimen that others abandon at the first whisper of difficulty. Your throne is claimed not in a single battle, but in the quiet victories of each sunrise, each choice, each act of discipline sustained without falter. Forge your mind in ritual. Fortify it with a challenge. Let each repetition harden your focus and sharpen your resolve. Stand unwavering in the face of chaos, knowing that your inner discipline determines the world you will command. Life will not wait, and hesitation is the enemy of sovereignty. You are both artisan and warrior, crafting a will that cannot be bent, a presence that cannot be ignored. The iron will is not natural, it is forged, and it is within your power to temper it today. I rise, I endure, I conquer. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. To become untouchable is to move through the world as if gravity itself bends to your will. Every step you take, every word you speak, carries the weight of inevitability. Vulnerability is not arrogance. It is preparation. The predator does not announce the strike. It moves with precision, knowing the terrain, sensing the wind, calculating the distance between intention and action. You too must behave as if your mind and body cannot be shaken. Chaos may swirl around you, yet you remain still, deliberate, unassailable. Roman generals, from Caesar to Scipio, understood this principle. The army marches not only because of orders, but because the leader radiates certainty that cannot be questioned. Today, in your own campaigns of career, influence, and intellect, your composure becomes armor. Your confidence becomes weaponized presence. Invisible authority is the art of power recognized without declaration. The true master does not demand respect. It is given freely, drawn like iron filings to a magnet. People watch, measure, and react, not to your words, but to the consistency of your action, the solidity of your choices, the silent command in your posture. Machiavelli himself noted that perception often outweighs reality in the politics of influence. A leader who projects invincibility, calm under pressure, decisive in action, unwavering in principle, shapes the reactions of others without raising a voice. In modern life, this means speaking less, acting more, moving decisively, while others flounder in hesitation. Invisible authority is not about manipulation. It is mastery of self, so complete that the world must adjust to your rhythm. Legacy of fearlessness is the culmination of untouchability. When you are untouchable, you inspire respect, loyalty, and caution. Your presence signals a standard that cannot be compromised, a force that cannot be undermined. History is full of those who cultivated untouchable reputations. Churchill standing firm amid blitzkrieg. Miyamoto Musashi moving silently through a field of rivals. Innovators like Elon Musk reshaping entire industries through relentless commitment to vision. In each, fearlessness was both shield and spear. It protected them from attack and projected power into every interaction. You too must cultivate this aura. Act without hesitation, speak without uncertainty, move without apology. Let your actions echo louder than your explanations. Let your results silence doubt before it is spoken. To be untouchable is to live beyond the petty skirmishes of emotion, beyond the chaos of envy and distraction. It is to move like a predator in a world of prey, to command without announcement, to strike without warning. Every decision, every action, must reinforce your sovereignty over yourself. This is the apex of mastery, not just survival, but dominance by the simple fact of being unshakable, unyielding, unstoppable. I am steady, I am silent, I am untouchable. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. To become untouchable is to step beyond the reach of chaos, to move through life with the unshakable confidence of a predator at the top of the food chain. Invulnerability is not born from brute strength alone. It is forged in the mind, honed in action, and reinforced in every choice you make. You must behave as if your mind and body cannot be shaken, even when the storms of doubt, criticism, and adversity swirl around you. Look to history. Alexander the Great faced empires larger than his own, yet he moved with unwavering decisiveness. The fear he inspired was not manufactured through intimidation alone. It emanated from a certainty that nothing could deter him. Today, your battlefield may be corporate, social, or internal, but the principle is the same. Stand firm, move deliberately. Let hesitation die before it has a chance to take root. Invisible authority is the silent command that reshapes reality around you. The untouchable need not announce their power. It is recognized naturally. Your presence alone alters the behavior of those around you. People instinctively defer. Allies rally. Adversaries pause. Machiavelli observed that perception often outweighs reality in matters of power. If the world believes you are unshakable, your influence multiplies exponentially. In modern terms, this could be the quiet confidence in a boardroom that makes decisions stick, the composed demeanor under public scrutiny that earns respect, or the calm, controlled reaction in conflict that dictates outcomes without a single raised voice. Your authority becomes invisible because it is earned through consistency, precision, and restraint. The legacy of fearlessness is the crown upon untouchability. Those who cultivate it inspire respect, loyalty, and caution. They are remembered not only for what they accomplished, but for the unwavering force of character they displayed. Consider leaders who became legends through unrelenting poise under pressure. Winston Churchill during the Blitz, Miyamoto Musashi amidst dueling samurai, or modern innovators who redefine industries with relentless vision. Each radiated a fearlessness that protected them, guided others, and commanded obedience without threats. Your legacy will not come from fleeting victories, but from the aura you project, the discipline you uphold, and the courage you cultivate in every challenge you confront. To be untouchable is to live above the petty battles of emotion and distraction, to act with the precision of a predator in a world of prey. Every thought, every action, every word becomes deliberate, a calculated maneuver that secures your dominion over yourself and the environment around you. Fear cannot touch you, doubt cannot sway you, and hesitation cannot compromise you. You are a sovereign, a predator, a master of all that you survey. I am steady, I am silent, I am untouchable. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. The moment has arrived. Every lesson, every trial, every cut of discipline you have endured converges here. You stand at the precipice of transformation. The unbreakable self is no longer a concept. It is a living, breathing force. You are no longer merely surviving. You are commanding, calculating, and hunting with precision. Your mind, your body, and your will have fused into a singular weapon, sharper than any sword, stronger than any fortress. This is the synthesis of mastery. Every thought aligned, every habit honed, every strategy prepared for execution. The man who masters himself becomes unstoppable. And now, you have crossed that threshold. See life not as a series of happenstances, but as an epic battlefield, a vast chessboard where every piece, every decision, every gesture counts. You perceive the world both as predator and general, attacking opportunities where others hesitate, defending your domain with calculated vigilance. Just as Napoleon surveyed his campaigns, discerning not only terrain, but the psychology of his opponents, you now anticipate moves before they are made. Every setback is merely a lesson encoded in the battlefield. Every success, a reinforcement of your dominion. Life bends to those who see beyond the immediate skirmish and grasp the full scope of the war. Embodiment of power is no longer aspirational. It is your reality. Every movement you make radiates authority. The way you walk, the way you speak, the way your eyes measure the world, all signal command. Failure is no longer an option because your preparation has left no room for it. You operate like a predator whose presence alone bends the behavior of prey and rival alike. Your inner assassin has eliminated doubt. Your disciplined rituals have forged resilience. Your strategic mind has learned to see the invisible threads that control outcomes. You move with deliberate force. Every choice a calculated strike. Every reaction a testament to mastery. The unbreakable self inspires instinctive respect and fear, not through violence or coercion, but through the aura of capability and unyielding focus. Those around you sense it, even if they cannot name it. Loyalty comes naturally to allies who recognize strength. Caution becomes instinctive for adversaries who perceive the untouchable edge you carry. Your throne is not a seat of decoration. It is a declaration, a living monument to the convergence of discipline, strategy, and courage. Now command your life with precision. Let every morning's action reaffirm your sovereignty. Let every challenge encountered be met with the calm inevitability of someone who has rehearsed, endured, and mastered the art of conquest. The battlefield, the chessboard, the social arenas, they are all yours to navigate, not through impulse, but through calculated authority. Every decision is decisive, every movement impactful. You have become both the hunter and the strategist, the architect and the warrior. The culmination of this journey is not in reaching a final destination, but in embodying a state of perpetual ascendancy. You are untouchable. You are disciplined beyond distraction. You are a commander who moves with vision, power, and absolute control over self and circumstance. Today, you step onto your throne, not as a reward, but as a consequence of relentless mastery. I am the storm, the strategy, the sovereign. My throne is mine, unshaken, unchallenged,